All right, so today I want to go over what my current configuration for my EDC, this little Viperade kit here that I put together. I'm going to go through everything that's included in this, and then after that I want to go through how my everyday carry has changed over the last year, a couple years or so. The different iterations that I have, the different iterations that I've used, and some that I even still use today. So with this right here, this is a Viperade VE3, which is probably, I think, around $15 on Amazon, and it fits quite a bit of the things that I need. Now this kit right here is a little bit bulky. It will fit in your pocket, but it is, you know, if you don't like a whole lot of stuff in your pocket all the time, it will be uncomfortable. I don't usually put this in my pocket. I usually carry this to and from my truck. If I am going somewhere though, I will put it in my pocket, and it isn't horrible. I'm just that type of person that doesn't like a whole lot of stuff in my pocket. So with this, let's go through what I have included in this little everyday carry right here. The first thing I have right here is this stream light. This is a micro stream, and I believe this is 700 lumens. And this is rechargeable. You can see if you pull this up right here, I don't know if you can see that or not, but you can recharge it with that little port right there. It's a micro USB, and it seems to last for a fairly good amount of time. So this is just a pretty cool little flashlight, nice and thin, and it fits on this pretty well. Next in this, I have this CKRT Septimo, and this is, honestly, this is a little bit larger than, you know, maybe I want in here, and this might change, but I do like this knife. And with this little kit and all my kits and everyone's kit, it's going to be different depending on your needs, and it's probably going to change from week to week, or, you know, depending on what you want to put in here. So next week I may have a smaller knife in here, but this CKRT is a nice knife. I think it's like 3.5-inch blade. Really good knife though. And it's only about 40 bucks, so it's not a super expensive, really quality knife, but as far as everyday carry, this is going to do the job. And I also have a pen right here. This is a weatherproof pen from Write in Rain, which I've got this notebook as well, which I took out a bunch of pieces in here. I don't need a whole notebook, but it fits a lot better without all that it's not as thick now. But this Write in Rain works really well on these waterproof notebooks. And what you do, you just pull that down, that little clip right there. You can see it goes up and then down, and then it writes on here. And this is a waterproof piece of paper. So this is just a cool little pen. This is plastic. I think I got a set of 3. I can't remember how much it was, but probably $15, $20. But this will do just fine. Also in here, I have the Gerber armbar, which is the one thing this is missing is the actual pliers part of it. But this is nice and small, and it fits in here really well. It's got a decent sized knife on it. It's got the hex head, both flathead and Phillips screwdriver on here. It's got the scissors and an awl, which could be important when you're thinking about a bug out bag or fixing you know, something like that. So this is just a really cool little multi-tool, and I believe this was like $40 or $50, so not super expensive, but it fits really well inside this everyday carry kit. So that's it on this side. And this side, you can see it's got the 3 pouches. You can actually fit a cell phone in here if you wanted to without the case, but if you put anything else in this, these pouches take up space, so you won't be able to fit a phone in there. But it does work great for this tablet. So this is set up basically for preparedness. You can set it however you like. You can even have a couple of these, one for when you're going to work, one for preparedness, however you want. And then on this side, I've got a few things in here. Up here on top, I've got this ferro rod, which the reason I like this is because it is so small and compact. You've got the striker part right there, and then you put this side on right here, and then I've never used this, so I got to scrape off the. That works pretty good. So in a pinch, this is great. I don't necessarily like these supplies that have a lot of different parts because there's a lot of different points of failure, but this one is so compact and it's just the perfect size for an everyday carry kit. So it's a fire starting option in there. I do also have this butane lighter, which, you know, honestly, these need to be refilled more often than a Bic lighter, so a Bic lighter may be better. What I like about this is the torch style flame. So if I need to start a fire, if I need to do anything, this is going to be more directed towards that than a Bic lighter would. If you turn a Bic lighter upside down, you're going to burn yourself. If you turn this upside down, it's going to point directly where you're pointing it. So I do like this. You just need to pay attention and refill it. And these, I believe I got a set of 2 for like $20, and it gives you a little gauge here of how much fuel you have left in it. Then you can just take the butane here and fill that back up nice and quickly. So I do like that lighter. I also have the old Zippo, which I absolutely love. This is not the most efficient as far as preparedness purposes go, but I absolutely love these. I'll talk about this a little bit more in a second. So I've got the lighter, I've got the ferro rod, a couple different options to start a fire. Also, as far as fire goes, I have this Wazoo fire card, and this is, you know, it's not completely necessary, but I do like this card. The one thing about this card that I like is the size and the profile of it. It is a credit card basically, and it does actually work pretty well. Splintering this off, like if you're, you know, trying to get little chunks of it to use a ferro rod with, not the easiest thing in the world, and honestly, I'm not sure I would do that. But if you have a lighter, this card will light pretty quick and it'll get your tinder bundle going really quickly. So this is just a cool option to have for those fire starting purposes. Something, I got a set of 3 of these for I think $10. Keep one in my bug out bag, one in my wallet, and one in here. And it's just one of those why not have it type things. Also in this kit, I've got some wet wipes, a wet wipe for, you know, for whatever reason you may need it, you never know. I also have a vanilla card here, which is something, it's sort of, I like to have cash, and I have some cash in here as well. But this vanilla card, having a card right here, is a different option. So if this does get stolen, they're getting 50, they're getting $100 from me. They're not getting my other credit cards. There are also maybe some purchases you want to make without the prying eyes on you. You can get credit cards, the prepaid debit cards that you can recharge. You can go into Walmart or the dollar store and just give them cash and they'll put it on there. You can make some purchases that way. So you've got to pay attention though. Some of those cards, there's like a $5 or $6 monthly fee unless you put $500 a month on it. But if you are using that card to buy things that you don't want the credit card companies to know about because everything is on a list these days, that is a good option. You just get an anonymous email. But I put just a vanilla card. It's a prepaid card in here. These last, I think, 9 years. They're good for 9 years. And even after that, the money doesn't disappear, just the card doesn't work. So I've got some cash. I've got the debit card or the prepaid card right there. And then I've also got another, just because it's low profile, much like the fire starting thing right here, I've got a Frenzel lens in here just because it's that redundancy factor. If I use this and the fire doesn't work, if I can't get something with this, this is my oh crap backup option. So having a Frenzel lens in there is sort of it fits so slim, it's sort of a why not. And then I also have just a little boo-boo kit here, a first aid kit. I've got a couple steri strips in here, a larger Band-Aid, some Band-Aids, some alcohol prep pads, and also in there behind all this stuff are the really cheap little thermometers. They're paper thermometers that you can put in your mouth and it'll give you a general reading on how you are. And again, I'm not sure how necessary that is, but that's what I put in there. So with that is this kit right here that I have put together in this Viperade kit. Now I used to have this kit right here, which is the Maxpedition, and some of you may have seen the video I did in the past. And this is sort of the same thing, although this is a little bit thinner as far as profile. Once it's filled out though, there isn't much of a difference. So this is just another option for you to have. This one is enclosed, so it really depends on you and your situation what you want. But this one I had filled out in the past, and you can see I've got a little fire starting kit here. I've got another pen. I've got this knife right here. It's a ceviche, I think it's called, a Chinese knife that's actually got really good reviews. So I'm going to try this one out and see how it works. But this was, I think, 40, 50 bucks, something like that. We'll see how good of a quality knife this is. But again, it's really just sort of up to you as far as how you put these together. If you wanted something like this, you could. If you wanted something like this is what I'm doing now because I like just I can take this with me on the go, and if I need to put it in my pocket, it seems to be a little less bulky than this, even though they're pretty similar once this is all filled out. I also, just the everyday carry stuff, I've got this, like I said, this little Gerber right here, armbar, doesn't have the pliers. I also have this micro dime that does have the pliers, and this basically stays in my pocket. This could be something you put on your keychain. I don't like to put a whole lot of stuff on my keychain, but this, you got this little holder right here, you could put it on there. But this, in conjunction with this, gives me, I think the pliers part of a multi-tool is probably the most important part. So having one without one is something I just makes me uncomfortable. So I wanted something where I did actually have these pliers. Now this does have a couple of other things in there as well, but honestly, everything in this is going to be much better. But as far as everyday carry, I still carry this little multi-tool, this lighter, and this flashlight in my pocket, even if I have this with me. Because now if I put this in my pocket, then this will probably come out. But this usually goes with me in my hand. It goes to my truck, to the console of my truck, and then, back and forth. So these are the things that are always in my pocket, whether I'm walking around the property, whatever I'm doing. I'm going to have these in my pocket. This Zippo right here, like I said, it lasts about a week with the fuel in it. I don't use it much anymore, but I always carried one when I was a smoker. And now that I'm not a smoker, I just love the Zippo, so I still carry one. You got to recharge it every week or so, but if you put some tape or some electrical tape or a rubber band, or I've even heard people taking a sliver of inner tube and putting it around there, that'll seal that better, and the Zippo will last a whole lot longer if you don't use it like I don't use it. I basically, the only time I ever use it is when I'm screwing around and I'm opening it up. So looks like the fuel is empty now because it's not lighting. But I do like the Zippos. This lighter right here is rechargeable, and it's pretty good. This one, this is a Kodiak. I believe I got this from just the regular Cabela's or something like that. But it recharges with this little port right here. So cool little flashlight, small and compact. I thought about putting it on here, but I think the volume is about the same, and this is a little bit thicker going into your pocket. So this is just something I carry in my pocket. So these three things right here are in my pocket at all times, unless I have this in my pocket, and then I will switch those out. And then one other thing that I used to use, and I still use this periodically, is this Maxpedition gear slinger. And this is a little bit hairy because of the dogs, but this is something, I never used this, so I would never take it with me. I filled it out and made it super cool, but I would always forget about taking it with me in my truck because I have my bug out bag. So I don't use this much anymore. This is cool because it's got the different pouches and a lot of storage space, and it's the sling pack you put over one arm, and you can actually fasten it to make it a little bit more snug. And it's even got this belt Velcro right here and the back right here. So there's a lot more options with something like this than there is with these smaller kits. But I never used it, so it was kind of pointless. But if you do, that's where I said it's your personal situation. If you would use something like that, I think it's absolutely fine. If you travel a lot away from your vehicle, and it doesn't have to be something that looks tactical like that, it could be something else. But if you do use it, then I think that's fine. I'm testing this out right now. Like I said, it's a little bit different than this one, but I think this, for me, this is something that I am going to take with me back and forth, and it is going to have all of these things, and I know I'm going to have it, rather than be in a situation where it's like, well, I wish I would have grabbed my everyday carry bag. But there are just a lot of different options when it comes to everyday carry, from just basic in your pocket stuff to the smaller kits to the larger kits. It's really up to you, and how you fill these out really depends on how much you're going to use these individual items and what your occupation is. Maybe there are different things in here. Like I said, this one is filled out for preparedness purposes. Maybe you get a couple of these and you fill one of these out for the supplies and the things that you would use for work. At any rate, that's it for today, everyone. If you have anything you want to add to this, or different types of, there's just a lot of cool little things that you can put in an EDC, and putting together a couple of these is not really out of the question. So if you have anything to add, make sure to leave it in the comments below. Until next time, everyone, take care and prepare. We will talk to you all later.